Hello, everybody. This is a recording of a webinar which is specifically aimed at careers leaders, showing how Careerpilot can make your job easier. So my name is Sue Lewis and I work at the University of Bath and I head up the Careerpilot team. So Careerpilot is a whole suite of resources. It's completely free to use, and the reason it's free is because it's co-funded by 20 universities and 6 NCOP projects. It is a completely impartial site, so it's not just by university, but they're the people who fund it. So let's talk about the careers leader's role. I'm sure you know that it's a lot to do with leadership, management, and coordination. And what I'm going to show you in this webinar is how Careerpilot can be the tool that threads together careers and Gatsby, and therefore making your job easier. So at this point, I would probably ask you what you know already about Careerpilot, but I'm kind of assuming you're going to start with not knowing very much, and I'm going to take you through the site, how you can integrate it, and also how you can use the reporting zone. So when I talk about integrating Careerpilot across the school or college, we're talking about embedding it in all parts of the career guidance software. And the Careers Enterprise Company defines careers guidance as the full range of interventions that you provide to students, with personal guidance being the one-to-one support offered by a qualified careers advisor. So within your organisation, you need to, as a careers leader, have something for students, parents, tutors, PSHE staff, subject teachers and personal guidance. You want to kind of try to bring all these things together so you've got a constructive, stable programme that meets the needs of young people and, of course, Gatsby. So Careerpilot can be at the centre of all those things, and I'm going to show you how different people from different roles can use different parts of Careerpilot. And if you are embedding Careerpilot, then you'll be hitting a lot of the Gatsby benchmarks. And there's still some things to do with the Gatsby benchmarks. This is from the State of the Nation 2018, so things will have moved on a bit as we're now in 2019. But you can see that though progress is being made, there's still some considerable progress to be put into place. You can also see on the CEC website by local authority area, Career Hub area really, what's happening in terms of Gatsby and compare your school to that, so you can look regionally and nationally. So the idea is that by 2020 schools are meeting the Gatsby benchmarks. So that's actually only 1 year away from now. So today I'm going to show you how Careerpilot can help young people be career ready, because at the centre of this are the students. How you can use Careerpilot at all levels of the organisation so they can really pull your career leader role together. And as we go through, I've shown you how it meets the Gatsby benchmarks. One key question for all teachers is why do careers? And one key question might also be why does it impact on grades? And we have some recent research from the Careers Enterprise Company to show exactly that. This research looked at GCSE students. It was a randomized controlled trial, and they looked at students who had interventions related to careers before their GCSEs, employer visits, that sort of thing, and those that didn't. And they found that there was a significant influence on their future plans, their choices, their motivations, and significantly, there was more impact on low achievers and the less engaged students from having these sort of interventions. So it's good to have some research evidence for something we've known, I guess, for some time. So Careerpilot in overview, it's quite a big resource now. We have a student zone, a reporting zone, advisor zone, and a parent zone. And we are an award-winning website. In 2018, won the Career Development Institute Award for a Careers in Employability website. So let's think about the students. What does the future hold for your students? Well, we know that lots of jobs are changing quite dramatically or growing. What's going to happen to journalism, librarians, all sorts of jobs are changing. And new jobs are coming in their place, particularly to do with STEM or the environment. Artificial intelligence is quite a big development. And what the research shows us is that by the time they're 42, our young people are likely to have 10 jobs. So the qualifications are going to be helpful for getting them in, but the skills and their ability to transfer their skills is what's going to help them to move around in the future. So what do they need? They need to know what they love to do, have a good sense of themselves, what skills they have. They need to know what all the options are and be quite know those in depth. They need to know where jobs and courses are going in the future. Is this going to give me what I need? Is this going to prepare me for future jobs? And they need to have a bit of a plan for themselves. Where am I personally trying to get to? That might be about what they're going to do at 16 or 18 or looking further ahead. They also need to get the right activities according to their age and stage at the right time for them. So if it's year 10, it might be about work experience. If it's year 11, it's about post-16 choices. And all this is helping them to become career ready and develop the career management skills that are going to help them port from one job to another. And this is definition of career management. You are able to identify what you're good at. You're able to sell yourself. You're able to understand what's available out there and match yourself to those things. So that's what we want young people to be able to do. So what I'm going to show you is how Careerpilot can help young people to have a focus and develop their career understanding and readiness. So this is the Careerpilot homepage. Careerpilot is a free one-stop website helping, we say 13 to 19-year-olds, but lots of schools use it with year 7. And it's focused on the south of England because that's what our funding partners are. It's relevant to anybody across the whole of England. So what we're trying to do is help young people get the information so they can effectively plan their future study and work. So there's lots of information about all the different choices. But if they sign in or register, which they do straight onto the site, then they can get access to the career tools. And what that enables them to do is save their choices and their quiz results as they go along. So my job sectors, my providers. And all this leads into the reporting zone. So if you want to have information in the reporting zone, you need to get students signed in, understand they tag things as they go along, so they'd add into the career tools. And that all then contributes to a full report. So registration, that just happens straight onto the site. Don't have to send a list of students. They register here. This is our form. They need to put in their postcode, their school. If they start typing it, there'll be a drop down, and their year group. And then they'll be available for you to view in your school when you've got access to reporting zone. Do remember the student should only register once. We don't really want multiple registrations. If they've registered, they should sign in after that and use forgotten password if they can't remember how to get in. So some highlights of Careerpilot. We have our Explore and Choose tools, things like job sectors, courses, providers, qualifications. Stories, over 1,000 video stories on the site. We have things, we have choices at 14, 16, 18, so they can go in and see exactly what the choices are. Where do I start? Activities, which I'll come back to in a minute. Or they can dive straight into finding out about a particular qualification they're interested in. So if I just show you some of the kind of features of the site. In any information section, like this is A-levels, there'll always be video stories related to that topic, so they don't have to read lots of stuff. There's always a summary of what they're going to learn if they do read on, and a shortcut so they can get straight to the bit they're interested in. But they also need to know they can bookmark anything they're interested in. So this is where it'll be saved to their career tools. So essentially built into their own profile within Careerpilot. Some of the Where Do I Start tools, I'm just going to run you through that. The first one is exploring the site by age. So find activities for your age. So this is particularly useful for directing students. If a tutor or PSHE teacher is running a Careerpilot session, and they're working with year 8, they say do the year 8 activities, and there'll be like 5 activities to help them get started. So there'll be suggested activities there, and there's some for each of the year groups. And there are introductory presentations that go with all these that are available in the advisor zone. Do a quiz. We have a job sector quiz, 50 pictures of things you might like to do in work, and then we suggest job sectors they should explore further. We've also got the skills map. This is a very popular tool. We have a pre and a post 16 version, and this is to help students understand what skills they've got. So instead of asking that question, what skills have you got? And they usually stare at you blankly. We've asked them what they do, and then we show them what skills they probably have used. So it says things like, I've committed to an out-of-school activity for more than a year. And then we give them some skills to match to their results. So if you have committed to an out-of-school activity for more than a year, you might have used physical skills, resilience, teamwork. And all those skills are then put in our skills bank. So you can see the skills you've got. The match means there's 6 questions matched to each skill, and this person is matched to 3. So they've already got 3 examples of these investigation skills from the quiz. But they can also add their own. So the idea is to keep going back in. So if they've done an encounter with an employer or whatever it might be, they can add that. I've been with my dad doing wedding photography. What skills did you use? And that'll be added to the skills bank alongside the things generated by the quiz. Okay, so anything they do, they can go back in and record it on Careerpilot. So when they come to apply, and click on courses and jobs, say what they want to apply for, think of the skills they most need to flag up for that particular course or job, and then they'll see all their examples. Job sectors. In terms of learning from careers and labour market information, there's a lot of stuff in Careerpilot. You can search for a job, you can look at a sector, you could drill down to a job profile. There's over 900. They're provided by the National Career Service. So if you scroll down the job profile page, you'll find out what was involved, entry requirements, video stories explain about that job, and the pink bit says what skills you require in a job. But you can also see your skills map results alongside this, so you can begin to see how close you are to what's required for that job, and you can add your own examples to build up your profile. There's also labour market information, which obviously for a careers leader, you're trying to make sure there's up-to-date sources of information. So here you'll find, is the job predicted to grow? Employment by region. So you want to be you want to do gaming, but you're going to have to, most of the jobs are in London, so you're going to have to think about that. There's also a course finder, so you can from one place find 16 to 19 degree or apprenticeship vacancies. And I'm showing you the degree one here. So you can put in the name of the degree, or there's a little drop down, you can choose a topic, put in your postcode and how far you're prepared to travel. Then you'll get a short list of courses with UCAS point ranges if they have that information available. And then you get key data about that course, including employment after the course, student satisfaction. So again, you're getting your labour market information coming into the course search too. Just to show you a few other things, we've got a qualification planner. We show all qualifications from entry level right up to level 8, and students can tag what they're doing and what they're considering. So that actually gets them to think about how they're going to move up the qualification ladder. You can also find a provider near you, and they can put in a postcode and see what universities or colleges or other schools around where they live. If they have tagged some qualifications, a qualification planner, then in my qualifications, they can add their predicted actual grades. So if they've signed in or registered, they get access to all the career tools, most of which I've shown you. Just to say, next steps quiz is a little quiz to ask them about their intentions to progress and ask them what might stop them. So Careerpilot is all about helping address the needs of individual pupils, but find out what they are, what they're interested in. And this really contributes to personal guidance because you've got a lot of information there already before you even talk to students. So as they're going through the site, you get them to tag the things they're interested in, the job sectors, the jobs, the courses. So that creates like a summary for them, my courses, of the things they're interested in, and get rid of them whenever they want to. So the whole idea of Careerpilot is that they go in every year, they housekeep. So I want to be a footballer, but I don't want to do that now, so I'm going to get rid of that. And all this career tools area contributes to a full report and also snapshots. So every year it's saved, and they save a snapshot of what they've done previously. But there's always a live active report, and the report has quite a lot of detail on it. including an opportunity to add advisor comments, which you could do through the reporting zone. Okay, moves up every year on August the 31st. So we've talked a bit about helping students become career ready. If you want to assess the impact of your careers guidance, maybe you've got something already. But the Careers Enterprise Company have developed a survey called Future Skills, which is exactly about trying to find out how career ready students are as a result of the interventions that you might set up. This is available for projects that are funded by the CEC, but from September they're going to make that freely available. So if you're interested in using that beginning of the end of next year, you could actually request access to it. And the survey looks like this. You put in the local authority where the school is, then you can see schools in that area, and then students complete it. So we talked a little bit about different roles within the school using different parts of Careerpilot. So I'm going to start with the subject teachers because it is a Gatsby requirement for Gatsby 4 that you link curriculum learning to careers, especially for STEM subjects. But that is quite a challenge for teachers if they haven't been in industry for some time or ever sometimes. So what we've got in Careerpilot is something called Start with a Subject. So a subject teacher could be showing this maybe once a term or once a year. They could pick up their subject and then it'll show them jobs that the subject could lead on to. They click and look at a whole range of job profiles, sample degrees that link to that particular subject, apprenticeships, and also online courses, free online courses called MOOCs, Massive Open Online Courses, put together by universities, really accessible, great, especially for year 12s. Find out about that subject in a bit more detail, but also look really good in the CV. And what we've done is matched the MOOCs that fit with a particular subject. So again, plenty there that a subject teacher could explore as one of their lessons or a bit of their lessons. And that would really help with that Gatsby 4. So another particular group of people are your delivery staff, the people delivering careers. That might be the tutors, could be PSHE staff or whatever you've got within your school. So what do they need? Careerpilot is a great place to refer people to. It's not just for the kids, it's actually up-to-date information for teachers, careers advisors, careers leaders. So it's one place you can post direct students to, which has got all the careers information. I mentioned the preset activities, which are going to be useful for PSHE. We've got preset presentations that go with them. We've also got lots of off-the-peg resources as well. And all these things are accessible through the Advisor Zone, which looks like this. So we've got resources by key stage. Also got some free things, which I'll come back to. There's something called LMI in the box, where you can find out what the latest LMI is related to different sectors, especially in the southwest of England at the moment. We're trying to expand that a bit. So what you'll find in the Advisor Zone, things like our progressive programs. So those key activities for different ages I mentioned on the homepage. We've also got them here, suggested activities for different year groups. And there's presentations that goes with these. We've got 5-week PSHE programs where Careerpilot is embedded into that. Some are classroom based, but some require IT. And we've just launched 20-minute class-based activities, which got little resources, that's the purpley one there, for different key stages. They're all mapped to Gatsby as well. So parents and carers need to be kept up to date about all the changes that are happening with careers. They need to know where to get help and advice. So definitely tell them about the main part of main Careerpilot site, because they really do like it. But we've also got Parent Zone, where parents can get the answers to questions they particularly want to ask. So the choices are 18. What would university offer and should my child go, for example? So personal guidance needs to be integrated into whatever else is happening in school. So it needs to be part of the whole Gatsby offer. And I'm sure you've seen that for personal guidance 8, they say that every student should have at least one interview by the age of 16 and an opportunity for a future interview by the age of 18. The Careers Enterprise Company have done a research project to find out what works in terms of personal guidance. And they say these things will be in place. It's integrated into whatever else is happening in school. It's done in an appropriate space and an appropriate time for that student. There's an element of preparing students for guidance and follow-up. The interview is effective and is delivered by somebody with a level 6 qualification. So Careerpilot can be a key tool in terms of personal guidance, and we've been using this model quite extensively now, where we do pre-guidance in that all students get a 1-hour Careerpilot workshop, which is quite directed. It might be those particular activities for different key stages. So we're just showing them the key bits of the site that are relevant to the choices they make in that time. Then they have a guidance session. So the guidance advisor now has a lot of information about that student. So it means they can start the guidance session uh, in a more in-depth way. Through the session, they'll be helping students tag things they're interested in, and they'll record the report results on Careerpilot through the reporting zone. Then that action plan is followed up by a tutor at a 6. So useful parts of the site for guidance, pre-guidance, general explore, that housekeeping that talked about, age-appropriate activities, doing quizzes, tagging your qualifications. Then in the guidance, you might do the skills map. It's a great way to find out about students. You can find out all sorts of things about what they're up to, what they're doing, because you're helping them as they complete the skills map. You're asking them questions about the things they're ticking. So if they say, I've had to look after a sick relative, there's lots of things there, what they had to do. They've had to use a lot of skills, use a lot of judgments. Sometimes they're not valuing what they're actually doing, but there's a lot of things there. And those things might have impact on what they decide to do later. So it's really useful for a guidance advisor to know these things. Start with the subject, bookmarking information, during the guidance session, then recording the actions. And as we said before, then using that to follow up. So I mentioned the reporting zone a few times. I'm just going to show you some of the key things about it. It can be used by everybody in the school, particularly tutors, careers leaders, guidance advisors. So once you've got access to your reporting zone, it'll look like this. This is my training school. So to get access, you complete a date sharing agreement, which you can access through the advisor zone. You can request it through the advisor zone. You get that signed by SLT. You tell us who we issue a password to, and then we issue a password, and that password keeper can issue other passwords within the school. And then you get access to your reporting zone. So there's only 4 things to do. Users, that's where you can see all your registered users. And school groups is where you can manage your groups. So they've all put themselves in a year group. What you can do is divide them down into tutor groups. I'll just show you quickly how that works. So what you can see here is that I've got 118 students in year 11. I wanted to divide them into tutor groups. I create a new group and I call it 11SL. I want to add students from year 11, so it gives me a short list of all year 11 students. And then I tick which ones I want to be in my group. And then it's there as a group. And that means once you set up these groups, you can just look at reports specifically for those groups, and you can just assign a teacher to see just their group. You can also look at reports by group or by individual. We'll look at groups to start with. This is the tasks completed by students report, which is quite useful because you can see what they've done on Careerpilot as a group. You can always look at their full report. This is a download, so you can see what they're doing. You can look at reports by provider, job sectors, all the things I showed you earlier. This is a job sector report. So I can see who's exploring what job sector and who's definitely interested. So this is useful. If I've got somebody to come to talk about engineering, I can line up the children who seem to be particularly interested in that. You could download all this data into a spreadsheet and play with it whatever way you want. You can look at reports by individual. So you can look for the name of the student, and then you'll get these choices. The bits you'll be particularly interested in are all career tools, which is a download of their whole report, which you can save elsewhere. The career tools snapshots, so you can see any reports from previous years. But advisor comments has everything, and this is where you can add your comments as well. So you'll be able to see the full report, but I'll say add your comments. Those comments will be attributed to you and the date you put them in. And then somebody else, like a tutor, could come along and write a comment, and that be attributed to them. So it's a whole conversation that's visible back to the student, and to any member of staff who can see that particular student's record. Okay, and you can write a full report as we have been doing with action points. And these are the bits that are followed up by tutors. So talk a lot about how Careerpilot can be used for different roles and at the centre of what you're doing. So from a careers leader point of view, you're at the centre of what you're doing, and then hopefully you can see the Careerpilot contribute to your role. So then in terms of leadership, you're planning the whole school programme, Careerpilot can really help you with that. Understanding the changing education landscape, all that information should be in Careerpilot. Briefing teachers, supporting tutors, you've got a perfect tool that they can use, one place that they can use in terms of their support for your career leadership role. Coordination, there's lots of information there about labour market information, so that pulls a lot of that together. And of course, we've got PSHE programs you can use, and you can communicate with pupils and parents by using the parent zone and actually the reporting zone as well. And more things are being added all the time. In terms of communicating to parents, one requirement for Gatsby 2 is you tell them about labour market information. And we've developed something called hot jobs. We've got 30 little social media packages you can pop into a newsletter. Some schools are now doing job of the week that goes out to parents. But we've now developed them into posters, and also they can be on your information boards as well. So there's different versions. You can request those through the advisor zone. And there's some other free things too. All you can request through the advisor zone, which is just on the home page of Careerpilot on the top bar. We do free staff training, mostly by webinar, unless you're very close to our base in Bath. We offer free promotional materials, one free set, we've got little smart cards, posters for 1 year group per year. We've got a whole program of webinars. You can access the reporting zone or request access to the hot shops. You can also become a super user. Super users meet 4 criteria. They've requested our materials. They've got a link to Careerpilot on their website. They've got over 100 registered or active users per year, and they've told parents about the site or accessed our reporting zone. Then you get a poster, which obviously is showing how you're using Careerpilot to meet Gatsby. And you can also request additional materials. We got lots of positive feedback about Careerpilot. In particular, that it's helped them to see there's loads more choices than they ever thought there were, and to also look in detail at the things they're particularly interested in. And we've just done a recent research project into Careerpilot, and these were the most useful things about Careerpilot, was that whole idea of having an account, somewhere you could come back to, somewhere you could see your report, somewhere you could bookmark things. And in particular, they like things like the job sectors, the job profiles, the skills maps usually high up there as well. So just a few things that are coming soon before I finish. There will be a new homepage style from September. So we'll have all the things we've got now, but we have this additional bit in the middle, which is us helping students to think about what activities might be there to help them think about themselves, explore their options, and plan their next steps. Because those are 3 kind of key parts of the career management process, really. So we want to try to encourage them to use the site as part of their process, as well as diving into particular other bits of the site. So that'll be ready for September. One other thing might not be ready for September, but we're hoping to have soon, is a way the schools can add a whole activity to the skills bank. So if you imagine that you've just been just organised some major event for the whole of year 11, you could add the activity, say what skills the young people had used, and then actually add it to either a whole group or individuals. And then in their skills map, they'll have examples from the quiz, examples they put in themselves, or also the pink bit, examples that are the green bit, examples that have been put in by the school. So in the skills bank, we're hoping to have another column which is showing the things added by the school. So that enables you to show evidence too that you've actually been doing stuff, and links all the things you're doing, what they're recording as well. Just to say, we have won a bid from the Careers Enterprise company for develop a strategy for personal guidance. And the model we plan to use is the model I showed you earlier of pre-guidance, guidance, and follow-up. But a new addition is to have something called the Pathway Planner, which is a triage tool. And that will actually help determine the starting level of guidance young people need. And this will all be packaged with other ways of accessing guidance through drop-in or e-guidance or self-referral. So I just thought to show you that quickly. Our pathway planner, so students would have had an hour on Careerpilot, and if they're in year 11, it'd be directed to help them understand their choices. At 16, at the end of that session, they'll do our pathway planner. So we'll say, what pathway are you now thinking about? They might not say I haven't got any idea, which would mean they'd automatically get our red flag level of guidance. Or alternatively, they do a quiz and answer some questions about the pathway they're interested in. And this is just some scoring, which they won't ever see. It'll be on the back end. And the whole idea is they then find out how ready we think they are for progressing along the pathway they've chosen. So we'll give them a green, amber, red rating on a particular day when they fill in the questions. But what they'll also mean in terms of guidance is the guidance advisor on the back end of the system will be able to see what pathways students are considering, but also how prepared they are for them. So that should help the guidance advisor to decide how they're going to target guidance. So if they're red, they'll get an hour. In amber, they'll get half an hour. They're green, they'll get 20 minutes. We're just trying this out as a pilot in the 6 schools that we're going to be working with for the Careers Enterprise Company project in the next academic year. There'll also be a little timeline to show them where they were at a particular time, what guidance interventions they've had. So we're all the time trying to help them to become green so they've got the information they need to progress in their chosen pathway. Just to say too that if you want access to the reporting zone, just get in touch with us and we can issue you with a password. You might have been sent one already, which will be probably to my training school. When you get into that, when you activate the link, you'll see your name in the top right hand corner, and then you'll see access to my training school. Once you've got that one login to the admin area, you can also go into the student area by clicking here, and then you get straight into the student area. And if you want to get back into the admin area, under your name, click on admin, and you'll be back in. So you can just toggle between the both sites with your one login. So hopefully you can have a little play with Careerpilot, and then you'll be thinking, what can you do next? Do get in touch with us if you want any training or sign up for a webinar if you're particularly interested in the topic related to Careerpilot. So thank you for listening to this webinar. My name is Sue Lewis, and you can get in touch with us on careerpilot@bath.ac.uk. We also have a helpline which is operational from 9 till 3 every day in term time. Thank you. Bye.